Hey lovely people, welcome back to my channel. It's Dee here, back with another video. Today we're going to be making a hoodie shrug. This is quite easy and anyone can make this. If you're a beginner, this is the perfect tutorial for you, so I hope you will enjoy it. Okay, in this tutorial I used the simple stitches, treble double crochet and chains, and I also used the slip stitches. So before I get started, I'll show you guys how wide this is, and it's 43.5 inches wide and it is 17 inches long. So your foundation chain is going to go from your shoulder all the way to where you want it to stop, and make sure that you don't stretch that chain. You're going to need a tape measure, a darning needle, some stitch markers, some pair of scissors, and you're going to need a 6mm hook. For the yarn, I used big twist acrylic yarn and I only needed 2.5 balls, and that was it. I'm starting with a slip knot, and then I'm going to make a chain of 63 plus 6. After your foundation chain, you're going to yarn over twice and count 5 chains, and into the next chain you're going to place there a triple double crochet. I'll be working in the back bumps of my chain, so I'm simply going to insert my hook in that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. This first chain is going to work as my first treble. After that, you're going to chain 4, yarn over twice, and then you're going to skip 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and into the 7th chain you're going to place there a treble double crochet. Insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. We'll do that again, so you're going to yarn over twice, insert your hook into that same stitch right there, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through the last 2. Chain 2, yarn over twice, back in that same stitch you're going to place there 2 more trebles. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. We do it one more time. And that is our first shell for this pattern, and this is how it should look like. Okay, so next you're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over twice, skip 6, and into the 7th chain you're going to make another shell. So insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Yarn over twice again, and in that same chain you're going to make a treble. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Chain 2. Back in that same space you're going to make 2 more trebles to complete the shell. This is how your work should look. Then you're going to chain 4, yarn over twice, skip 6, and into the 7th you're going to make another shell of trebles. Repeat that same pattern over and over until you get towards the end, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so once you get to the end, you chain 4, yarn over twice, and into this last stitch you're going to make 2 trebles. And that is how we are going to complete the row, and at the end of it you should have this. So for me, I have a total of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 shells. And to start the second row, we're going to chain 5, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Then we're going to turn our work. Then we're going to make a treble on top of this next stitch. So we're going to be ending with 2 trebles and starting with 2 trebles, and this is going to help our work to stay straight. Okay, the chain 5 is counting as a treble. So after that, you're going to chain 4, 1 2 3 and 4, yarn over twice, and into this next chain 2 space you're going to make a shell, of 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 more trebles, all in that same space. Should have that. Chain 4, yarn over twice, and into the next chain 2 space you're going to make a shell, chain 4, yarn over twice, and into the next chain 2 space you're going to make a shell, and you're basically going to be repeating that until you get to the end. Okay, I'm going to repeat that, and I'll meet you here at the end so I can show you guys how to end the row. Okay, once you get to the end of the row, you're going to chain 4, yarn over twice, and you're going to make a treble stitch on top of this treble from previous row. So insert your hook on top of that stitch and make a treble, yarn over twice, and then you're going to make a treble on top of the chain. So insert your hook right on top of that chain 5 and make a treble. And this is what you should have. That marks the end of row 2. Row 3, you're going to repeat row 2. You're basically going to be chaining 4 and making a shell in the chain 2 space. And that is all we're going to keep repeating, keeping in mind that you have to end with only 2 stitches, like what we have here, and you have to end with the same 2 stitches. Chain 5, turn your work, make a treble right on top of that first stitch, chain 4, yarn over twice, make a shell in the next chain 2 space, chain 2, yarn over twice, make a shell in that same space, chain 4, and make a shell in the next chain 2 space, chain 4 again, yarn over twice and make a shell in the next chain 2 space, and you're going to repeat that until you get towards the end where you're going to end with 2 trebles. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of the row. All right, to complete the row, you're going to make a treble on top of that first treble from previous row, yarn over twice again, and make your last treble right on top of that chain 5. All right, so you're going to keep repeating row 2 and 3 until you have a total of 48 rows. And then after that, you're going to make a second panel because we need 2 identical panels. You're going to repeat the same pattern until you have until they are identical, and then I'll be back with my 2 panels, guys, and then I'll show you how to do the rest. After making the 2 panels, this is how they should look. Here I have a total of 48 rows completed, and after this you're going to make your second panel like I said earlier, and once you have your 2 panels, you're going to place them on a flat surface and place one piece on top of the other, making sure that the wrong side, or whatever side you choose to be the wrong side, because they are identical and they look exactly the same. So here I'm trying to make sure that I align them very well, so you need to do the same thing because we're going to get to see where the neckline is going to be. And next you're going to identify the middle of your 2 pieces. So I have a total of 48 rows. I'm going to divide 48 rows by 2, which gives me 24. So I'm going to count 24 rows from here. This is 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, my 24th. So I'm going to place here a stitch marker. So this and this is going to mark as my middle point. Okay, so this is 24 and this is 24 as well. So next I'm going to mark where I want the neckline to stop, and since I'm considering this as my middle point, I'm just going to extend because I want the neckline to be a little bit wider. So let's see, from here I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll stop at this point and place there my stitch marker as well. Then I'm going to count 6 on this side as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Get another stitch marker and place it there. Okay, so that means from this point to this point, this is where my neckline is going to start or to stop. So let's see how wide this is. And as you can see, this measures 12 inches wide from one stitch marker to the other. So what I'm going to do here is get my darning needle, and we're going to join this part from the stitch marker right to the end, to the corner here, and then we're going to join the same way this side. With my darning needle, I'm going to join this whole part up to the stitch marker. You can also use a hook for this part, but the darning needle is better. It does a good job when it comes to joining these pieces together. So I'm simply going through the stitches and making sure that everything is secured, and I'm going to do that all the way to the stitch marker. Like I said, I'm sorry, I know I keep repeating some words, but I'll be trying to make sure that you understand me, guys. So please bear with me. And this is how the seam looks. I'll show you. That's how it looks. So I'm now going to weave in a few times to hide this tail before I cut it. All right, so next I'm going to join here as well from this point to the stitch marker, just like I did for this part. Okay, I'll start from here. After joining the shoulders, we're now going to work on the waist part. So you're going to get to the bottom of your piece, and I'll be using the same method I used for the shoulders. So I'm going to count 24, and I'll put my stitch markers in the middle so I can know exactly where the middle point is. And then from there, I'm going to leave enough space for my waist. So here I went ahead and joined the bottom part as well, and I left enough space for my waist, which measures 18 inches, and that was enough space for me. So now that we have joined everything together, we're going to be working on the hoodie. And this is optional. You can leave it like this. It would still look great. But I wanted to add a hoodie, and we're going to start from right here where we have the stitch markers. We're starting from the row next to the first stitch marker. So make a slip knot, and attach the yarn. Chain 1 to secure that, and then chain 5, which is going to count as our first treble. Then yarn over twice and make your second treble, chain 2, yarn over twice, make 2 more trebles all in that same space. After that, you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to skip the next row. Yarn over twice, skip the next row, and into the next one you're going to make a shell of 2 trebles, chain 2, and 2 more trebles all in that same space. Chain 3, then you're going to skip the next space, and into the next you're going to make a shell, yarn over twice, and into this next space you're going to make a shell of 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles all in that same space. Chain 3, skip the next space, and into the next you're going to make a shell of 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles in that same space. And you're going to repeat that all the way until you get to the next stitch marker. When you get to the stitch marker, you're going to leave the rows that has the stitch markers out of work, so we won't be working in those. So you're simply going to chain 5 and turn your work. Yarn over twice, and into that chain 2 space, you're going to make a shell of 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles all in that same space. Chain 3, make 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles in that next chain 2 space. Chain 3, and into the next chain 2 space you're going to make a shell of 2 trebles, chain 2, 2 trebles all in the same space, and that is the pattern that you're going to repeat until you get to the end. I have 1 shell left to complete row 2 for the hoodie. So after making that last shell, you're going to yarn over twice, and on top of this last treble you're going to place a treble double crochet on top of it, and that is how you complete the row. Row 3, we're going to repeat row 2 for the hoodie. So chain 5, turn your work. So turn your work and make a shell in that first chain 2 space. Chain 3, yarn over twice and make a shell into the next chain 2 space, and that is what you're going to keep repeating, making a shell in the chain 2 space from the previous row, chain 3, make a shell of trebles into the next chain 2 space. You're going to repeat that until you get to the end. And again, while ending the row, you're going to make a treble right on top of this last stitch from the previous row. Right there, that is how you complete the row. So you're going to keep repeating row 2 and 3 over and over until you have enough length for your hoodie. I'll go ahead and do the same. I'll be back once I'm done with it. So I'm back and I have a total of 15 rows completed, and this is how it looks. This is what you should have as well. And on the 15th row I didn't chain 3, so I just went ahead and made shells without the chain 3 in between. Okay, so after that I'll be showing you here the measurements. This is about 13.5 inches long, sorry. That's how long the hoodie is. And the width is about 22 inches. So next we're going to fold it like so, and we're going to join this top part. So using my hook, I'm going to make slip stitches on this top part, but you can use the single crochet. You can also use a darning needle to join this together. So I'll be going through each stitch of both sides and make a slip stitch. So I'll insert my hook into that first stitch of both sides and pull through. Insert my hook into the next and pull through, making slip stitches. And when you get to the chain 2 space, you're going to make 1 slip stitch. So when you get to the very end, you're going to chain 1, get your scissors and cut the yarn. Alright, so once you're done, just secure everything and you'll have to weave in that tail in. So I'll do that later, but after that, this is how your work should look. And there, the hoodie is done. So after the hoodie, we're going to make one last row around the sleeve. Simply make a slip knot, then attach the yarn right here where we joined from. It can be around the shoulders or the bottom part. So I'm going to attach my yarn and chain 5. Then in that same space, I'm going to make 5 more trebles for a total of 6. The first chain we made is going to count as our first treble. After that, you're going to yarn over twice and skip the next 4 chains, and into the next chain 2 space you're going to make 6 trebles. Okay, after that you're going to yarn over twice and into the next chain 2 space make 6 trebles, and that's what you're going to keep doing for this row. And when you get to the end of the row, you're going to slip stitch on top of the chain of the first chain that we made and chain 1, then cut off the yarn. So that's all we're doing for this row. Once you get to the end, slip stitch on top of the chain or into the next space, chain 1, get your scissors, cut the yarn and weave in all your tails. And you're going to repeat what we just did here on the other side of your sleeve. And that's it. And that brings us to the end of the video. This is how your shrug should look after you've weaved in your ends. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll see you in my next one, and please don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.